Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I've been talking. Y'all couldn't hear me. Can you hear me now? You're not. I was just telling my story. You're not missing out on any good info. I was just talking about the weather and I was saying how hot it is here in Cleveland. And I was asking you guys to let me know where you are watching from and what the weather is like where you are. Tell me where you are. I said that I am not originally from Cleveland. I am in Cleveland now. I'm originally from a small town outside of Cleveland. Oh, awesome. You can hear me now. Yes, yes. Brandy, Kendra, Promise, Mertlin. Nice to see you guys here tonight. So I was telling you guys the story about how I'm not originally from Cleveland. I'm in Ohio, and Cleveland has like 9 months of darkness because we're by this beautiful lake, and it's like dark for like 9 months. We get cloud cover from like November all the way to May, and I didn't grow up that way because I'm not originally from here. I'm from not far from here, but I didn't move here till after graduate school. I lived overseas for a couple of years. When I came back, my mom was here, so I came back here. It took me a long time to get used to the clouds. So when it's summer comes, I try not to complain because I don't want to manifest, no clouds, because we only get like 90 days of sunshine around here, but it is hot here today. It's like 95 degrees. It's like 95,000% humidity. The heat index, they got like warnings outside. Yes, it is hot. Charlotte, I know it's hot. New York, is it hot, New York? Oh, Brandy, you're moving back to Ohio. Nice. It's 80. And so that Promise, that's nice. 80 I can do. 80 I can do, Simon. All right. How are you? So yes, as you guys get in, I am excited for have you here. We have so much to go over today. I'm going to dive in. Welcome to CPTV. If this is your first time here, I am CP. If you are an avid CPTV watcher, then you know who I am. I'm Cheryl Perez, but of course, all of you guys, my lovely CPTV family, call me CP. You are welcome to call me CP. And I am excited to have you here. This is the place for aspiring and growing entrepreneurs who want to turn their passions and their dreams and their visions into businesses, and those businesses into 6- and 7-figure empires of freedom. Yes, if that sounds like you, then you're in the right place. Please don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button right now. Make sure you like this video, please. It helps CPTV in the algorithm. It helps get this message and get this knowledge and this education out to more entrepreneurs, because my favorite thing in the world to do is to give away free content to help more of us experience what I know will drive freedom for so many more of us out there who have these great ideas and want to share them with the world. Today, guys, we are talking about business addresses. And I want to get real deep into this because I get so many questions from all of you guys on every single social media platform that I am on. I get questions about business addresses. And, at first I'm like, what is the big deal about the business address, right? And I was trying not to be judgmental, y'all. I was trying not to be judgmental because I didn't really understand the big deal. But then I realized in my business journey, my entrepreneurial journey, which did begin in my very first business, which I didn't even know was a business, y'all. I was living overseas, so I didn't have the whole US address thing going on. I was more of an independent contractor, freelancer. I didn't really treat it as such. Came back to the States, was still doing my business as a side hustle. So shout out. Are you getting echoing? You getting echoing? Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can adjust a little bit here. Let me know how it's going. Let me see if that's better. I'm going to see if I can control it. We are live streaming, using a live streaming system today, guys. So that could be our issue. Let me know if that sounds a little better. If not, I can switch into some earphones and see if that helps. See if that helps. Okay, so Brandy's not getting an echo. Okay, so Kendra's not getting one. So Mertlin, maybe it's you're listening in maybe multiple places. Sound good for everybody else? Let me know if anybody else is having a problem. But anyway, we're going to talk about business addresses because, like I said, I never really had the business address problem. My business journey, when I finally did decide to do it right, should I say, do it right, do it the right way, do the 6 steps that I talk to you guys about all the time. I dove in the old fashioned way. I had a brick and mortar, I got an office space, and I've always had an office space. So my business address was always what I would say is what everybody tells you is the perfect address for all the different places that you have to actually register your business and kind of get your business started, all those different places, all those different things. The ideal address is the physical address, right? So I always had that. And it wasn't until I really started venturing more out into the online business space, offering the digital products, really wanting to have more of a mobile business environment and offering more educational products that people could access on their own, especially when I started working more with you startup entrepreneurs to make things more cost effective and doing free content, is that I realized that not everybody has that physical address thing going on. So I want to make sure today that I break it down for you in the simplest terms possible, because the business address decision that you make when you are setting up your business, when you are really getting it going, impacts your life and your business journey in so many different ways. And today I want to talk to you guys about what that is, describe the types of business addresses that are out there, because there's really I would say 4 types. There's really 4 types. And then what the pros and cons kind of are of those types, but really break down what types of businesses should have what types, and then answer some questions that I've received from you guys. So make sure that you have your questions answered, throw them in the chat. I've already gotten some ready to go. And I want to break down to you which address matters, which address matters when you are with the IRS, which address matters with the IRS, which address matters when you are registering your business, which address matters with the public facing address, which address matters with your business credit, which address matters with your business bank account, which address matters. All right. Simon, all right, Virginia. Nice. So I'm sure you guys have been wondering, because I've done other videos on business address, but I've never really said which address matters with all of those critical pieces of the puzzle in your entrepreneurial journey, in setting up your business and growing your business and in getting that business to the next level. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get into it. All right. And keep letting me know what your questions are. Business addresses. So first things first, really quickly run you through the basic types of business addresses. You've got the home address as your business address. That is an option. So your home address as your business address. You've got a PO box or a mailbox type of service that you can use as your business address. That would be a PO box or a UPS box or something like that, right? Then you've got your physical location or a physical business address as a business address, right? And then you've got your virtual business addresses. Now, your virtual business addresses can really be divided into 2 kinds. And a lot of people get these virtual ones confused because the virtual business types of addresses are more and more popular than they've ever been before. Because like I said, I'm an old school entrepreneur, right? I have been an entrepreneur since back in the day, y'all, since before there was social media, since before everybody had cell phones, really. I mean, we had them, but they were expensive. All right. We were paying per minute and per text message. So we weren't using them for business. We still had like desk phones, y'all. We was like knocking on doors, like the phone book was still being delivered to the office. So back in the day, before social media even existed, I was an entrepreneur. So the virtual address options are like newer because more people have started businesses, and you guys we're functioning, virtually. We're functioning not in a physical space. So there's 2 types of virtual types of business addresses. There's virtual addresses, then there's virtual offices. All right, so there's two types. And I think that's where everybody really gets confused. And I'm going to break those two down for you because that's where we're going to spend most of our time. But really quickly, P.O. boxes. Everybody knows the mailbox type. Everybody knows what those are, right? That's the P.O. box. You get that little thing, you go to the post office, you sign up for those, you can go, you get a key, you pay for those, post office or UPS box or something like that. Everybody good on that? All right, good. Then you got your home address, your residential address as your business address. Now, I want to talk about this a little bit because your home address as your business address may not be a good idea. And here's a reason. Privacy is a big reason, right? If your home address is your business address, then it's not safe. I mean, it could not be safe. Your public facing address, if you use your home address, it's not necessarily safe. Everybody's going to know what it is. And when I say public facing, I mean not necessarily what you register or you use when you register with the state or what you put with the IRS, or what you register with the bank or anything like that, because that's not necessarily public facing. I'm talking about what you put on your website, what you give to people and when you mail stuff out, when you are shipping products and services to your clients as a return address, that's more public facing. So your home address privacy can be an issue. Also, your home address, honestly, legally, liability can be an issue. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But also, you locally, you may not be able to do that. In your city or your locality, it may be against ordinances for you to use your home address as a business address. You may not be allowed in your city to run a business from your home. They may want to keep it residential. Your HOA may not allow it. Your apartment may not allow it. You may not be able to run a business from your home. So you need to make sure that you are checking on that. All right. I mentioned that to my husband earlier, and he was like, how are they going to know? I'm like, that's not the point, boo. Right? Because I'm not saying that they may or may not know. I'm just saying, don't start your business journey and your entrepreneurial journey the wrong way. Okay? Because if they do find out, do you really want them to undo all the stuff that you've done just because? Trust me, don't do that. But you got to check on that. But also from a liability perspective. And this is what I mean. And I want to be very specific. Your home address, you have started an LLC. Most of us out here have started LLCs, right? Right? You started LLCs or an S Corp or a corporation. You started those because you want the liability protection. You want to separate your business liability from your personal liability. If something goes wrong with the business, you don't want nobody to be able to come after your personal assets, correct? Well, that only applies if you keep your personal and business separate. Right? It could make you liable. There has to be a distinct separation. It's called piercing the corporate veil. Have you heard of that before? If you heard of that, that's what that means. If you start commingling business and personal, you could open yourself up to personal assets being liable for business problems. And that could be caused if you choose to use your home address as your business address. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time there for everybody to chew on that a bit. Now, sometimes people ask me if I don't use my home address, but I'm actually working from my home from time to time, can I still get some tax benefits? Yes, you still can. If you are using like if you're an independent contractor and you're not like officially an LLC and you use your business, you work a little bit from home, then there are some tax deductions that you can take from using your home as, some business deductions. It's still there. You can still take some I work from home types of deductions. Even if you currently work from home as a remote person, it just depends on the expense and then your overall deduction rate. And I'm not an accountant, so I'm not sure what your tax bracket is. So you might want to check with them on that. But yes, there is the answer to that is yes. So that home address is a tricky place. So just keep that in mind when you're choosing your address. So we talked about those two. The physical address for your business could be obviously when you have a physical location, a brick and mortar, an actual office address. Like I have an office address. I have an office suite. I come into the office. I do not, when I leave my house, I go to the office. It's my office. All right. That's a physical address. So now let's talk a little bit about the virtual address and the virtual office. They're two different things, right? And they matter. They matter. A virtual address is just where you have registered with some type of service, like an iPostal. I saw somebody put iPostal in the chat. An iPostal, they'll just give you a virtual address. There's lots of them out there, and they'll give you like a business address that's virtual, meaning they agree to kind of collect your mail for you, and they'll offer you different things where they scan them in and you can log in and read your mail. They may forward your mail for you. They agree to accept packages. You can like go pick them up if they're local, or if they're not local, they'll ship them. They'll forward them to you, and they're truly virtual. You don't have any kind of space. And some of those places don't have physical locations either, right? So they don't have virtual office space. They're truly just virtual addresses. And there can be multiple businesses at that same address because it's just a virtual address. And they're just offering almost like mail, third-party mail distribution services. You get an address and they're mail distribution services. It's not a P.O. box, but it's mail distribution, kind of. You know what I mean? The virtual office, you will also get like those types of services, but they usually also have a physical office location that you can also add on services where you are going there. You can get an office, you can use an office space, you can get a meeting room. They have like receptionists and stuff like that. All right. That's the difference. So I want to make sure you know when you're seeing those advertisements and you're seeing those types of services, there's virtual addresses and virtual offices. All right. Everybody understand that? Yes. Perfect. Now let's talk about which one of those matters with which folks. Okay. Because they matter. They matter. So the IRS, I get the question all the time. Can I use a virtual address with this place or that place or this place? Okay, the IRS requires that you have a physical location, a location address, so a physical location and a mailing location. So your mailing location, when you're applying for your EIN, you can have a mailing location, and that can be a virtual address. It can be a virtual office. It can be a whatever, a PO box. It can be whatever, right? I don't think it can be a PO box. It can be whatever. You also have to have a physical location, and that can be your home. Actually, it usually is your home, or it can be your office, physical office location. That is where they're going to mail you your tax stuff. Got it? You can have two different ones where it can be the same. And they actually have a box where it says, is it different from the above? Right? That's the IRS. They require the physical location, a location address, and then the mailing location. All right. When you register your business, it depends upon your state. They require that you have a legally valid address. It can be physical or virtual. No PO boxes or mailboxes allowed. If you're doing an LLC or a corporation, you can't have no box stuff, right? And it requires a legally valid address, must be physical or virtual. And that is different than your registered agent's address. All right. The registered agent, which most states require, and that's why I said depends on your state, because not all states require, and not all types of business structures that you're registering for require a registered agent. Your registered agent address in most states that require them must be a physical address, because I actually have done a video on what the registered agent is. If you guys have seen that, yes, everyone, thank you. Rico is actually on Team CP. Say hi, Rico. Rico's also my husband, guys. He's on Team CP. He jumped in to help because he saw that. So I think everybody did say that theirs was working. There was a little bit of an echo, but I switched mic thingies and everybody was doing good. So thank you so much. So the registered agent, I'll ask Rico to find that video and put the link in for you guys so you can check that out as well, because the registered agent video describes who they are, but that registered agent has to have a physical address. And that, my loves, is the public facing address of your business. So when you register your business, you can register it with the legally valid address. That's the one that you can put, that could be your home address. It has to be a valid address. It can be a home address or a virtual address. That's not the one that the public is going to see. The public, when they do a business search, They're going to see your registered agent. That's the only one they're going to see, your registered agent's address. So if you decide to be your own registered agent and you decide to use your home address as your registered agent address, then everyone's going to see your home address. So that your registered agent is simply a person that you have chosen to receive documents, important documents on your behalf. If any business around the world wants to send you something and they are trying to find you, they're going to go to your state website, your Secretary of State's website. They're going to do a business search and they're going to type your business name and it's going to come up and they're going to click on it and it's going to show your registered agent's address. So like if you search my business right now, Cheryl C. Perez Enterprises, the state of Ohio, yeah, I can search it. It's going to show you my attorney's office. You are not going to get my office address. You're only going to see my office address on my website and where I choose to put it. You're not going to see the address that my business is actually registered with, what that paperwork says. I actually had to change it because I moved offices. I always use my office. You see? So that is the difference. That is what we're talking about when you register your business. Okay. So the IRS registering your business, that's what they require. So all of these things are important for you to know when you are choosing the business address. The third thing is a business bank account. What do they require? Your business bank account, federal banking regulations require, when you are getting a business address, it requires a physical address, not a virtual one. Not a virtual one. So now I've talked about the IRS, I've talked about your state registration, I've now talked about your business banking, and they all require, at least all three of them, accept and require at some point or another a physical address, right? Now, and some of them can take the virtual ones. Most of them have nothing to do with no PO box though, right? Because you hear what I said? Most of them don't want to have nothing to do with no PO box. If you want to get a PO box though, you can get one for yourself just to have packages come or whatever. But none of them really want no PO box. I'm gonna do a long, silent, pregnant pause there for emphasis, y'all. Okay, going back to that. So the virtual address, all of them though, all of them require at least a legally valid physical location address, right? All of them. I just said it, all of them. Some of them accept virtual, but all of them need at some point or another a physical valid location address. All right. Now let's talk about business credit, because I get this question all the time. Business credit, what does it require in order to get business credit? And I'm not sure, every business does not have the goal to get business credit. Not every single one of you out there says, right, when you start your business, my goal is to get business credit. And you might not even be thinking right now at whatever stage you are in your business that in the future you'll want business credit. You will at some point. If you have a goal, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you have a goal of being high 6-figure, 7-figure, 8 figures, eventually you will want at least a business credit card. Cash flow will be a thing. Cash flow will be a thing. So you'll want a business credit card, okay? And you're gonna need to establish business credit to get it. I'm not saying that you're gonna all need like huge business loans and $30 million business loans. I'm not saying that. But even if you want, you know, a $50,000 or $100,000 credit card, you need business credit. And now business credit, what kind of address do they need? Let's talk about this. In order to get business credit, you need a Duns and Bradstreet number, a Duns number. Duns will not accept a PO box or a UPS store box type of thing. Now, I think that I just mentioned that none of them do. Nobody wants the PO box. Duns, most business credit places do require a physical address of some kind. They want to make sure that you are legit. That's it. So when people are looking from a business credit perspective, when companies are evaluating whether or not they're going to extend credit to you, they're evaluating your financial worthiness. And in order to establish financial worthiness, they're trying to make sure that you're legit. If you aren't legit, if you don't look legit, then they're not going to give you money because they're not going to get paid back. So when I say legit, they're looking for consistency. They're looking for a real true presence. They're looking for a web presence. They're looking for an address presence. They're looking for a phone number. And they're looking for the fact that you've got an address consistent everywhere they can find you, right? Because if you've got registered with the state a certain address, and then with the IRS, you've got an address, and then, on your website, you've got an address, and then, on a package, you've got an address, and then, with this supply person, you got an address. To me, it sounds like, you're trying to hack somebody's IP and you're trying to bounce people around so they can't find you, right? It's the same thing they're thinking. So business credit is about consistency, and really a physical address is the ideal address for business credit. Now, notice I said physical address. I didn't say you had to have a brick and mortar. So we're going back to those two virtual options now, because the bottom line, people want to know, because sometimes when you hear people on YouTube or coaches and people ask that flat out question, you guys have asked me the flat out question, what's the best business address for you to get? I'm about to tell you. You ready? I'm about to tell you. The best business address for you to get is going to be either a brick and mortar location. That's not your house. Okay? Because if you do use your home address and you want business credit, they're going to know that that's your home address, because your name also goes on that application. They're going to see that you are combining personal with business. Not necessarily going to be a bad thing, but it's not going to be a good look, right? Especially if you're like a dentist office. Like, how are you really doing dentistry from your house? I'm just saying. But anyway, I don't think it should be your house. It could be, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get the credit. A physical address, so you got to have a brick and mortar type of office, or a virtual office where there is a physical location available to you. That is going to be your best bet. Whew. So, who do I recommend? Who is my favorite? And there are a couple. There are a couple that I'd like to tell you to look for and that I like. If you don't have, like me, if you don't have a physical office space, you don't want to get into a lease, because physical office spaces have a lot of cons. They can be expensive. I mean, my entire entrepreneurial journey, I have gone through signing long-term leases that are like 5 to 7 years, and then you got to pay all this money to get stuff built out. And you get these leases that over the course of 5 to 7 years, they like 80 grand or something ridiculous, y'all. I know. And I'm actually at a point in my life and in my career where I'm not trying to do that anymore. So I've been really investigating so I can live what I teach. And, I'm currently in an office lease and I love my space. I've downsized. It's small. It's affordable. I'll probably be here for a minute. But when I am at that point, you guys have heard me say before that when my youngest, who is 13, goes off to college, I am going to be on the move. I need to be able to travel, live my life. And I will still have a physical office space because I need them. But my favorite, and the one that I think I'm going to, unless another competitor kind of sprouts up later on, I will probably go with Regus, Regus, Regus.com. All right, Regus.com. Regus.com. And I'm going to go with Regus because they have locations all over the world. And if you're a member, while you can have a home base, you can still, depending upon your membership and the level and what you sign up for, you can still utilize Regus offices anywhere that you are if you want to. So yes, Regus.com. So if we have time, I can do a screen share, or maybe I'll do a whole separate video on the Regus screen share and what you can expect. I tried to do the streaming service so that I could try and do a screen share, but I want to make sure I can get to some of your questions as well. So I can try, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I can try. We'll see if I can figure out how to do that. We'll see. I'll try. potentially, but Regis.com, that is exactly where I would go. Go to Regis.com. When you get to the homepage, it's going to ask you for your area. If you type in your city and your state, it will tell you what Regis locations are available near you. Then when you go to that site, it will give you 3 options. You can do just a virtual mailing address. And even if you choose just the virtual address, because they have physical office locations, it will still work for you because they have physical locations. So Regis isn't just one of those mail services. They have buildings wherever they are, like office buildings, like they purchase the building, and then you can also upgrade and you can do like a virtual office where you can do like a certain package where you can have access to a shared office space that if you want to go in and use it for a couple of hours a day or a week, you can do that. Or you can actually rent an office space. They have a receptionist that will answer, and you get phone service in some of their packages, so you don't have to have a separate phone. A receptionist that will answer the phone for you, take messages, send them to you. They'll hold your mail. You can use the conference room for meetings. They have like little kitchens and stuff like that. And I will probably go with a Regis type of service once I am ready to start being more mobile in my life and my youngest is going off to college. Yes, business phone line under Regis, Hakeem, they do have that. They do. So if there's nothing in your location, Promise. I love that name, by the way. I love that name. That brings me to my second option that you may be able to find. And this is a little different. It's called liquidspace.com. Check out liquidspace.com. Now, what Liquid Space is, it's a little different. And Liquid Space, actually, it's like a search engine that teaches you, it actually searches for you it searches various areas for flexible office spaces. Okay, so you will go to liquidspace.com and it tells you find a space that works. You enter your location. It's the largest marketplace of on-demand workspace, no matter where, when, or how you need to get work done. So it's not the actual provider of the office space. It's the Google of liquid office spaces. So if you search, and let me see, I might be able to do a quick screen share here. I think I may have figured this out. There it is. I'm going to do a screen share. So if you search, right, I'm going to do Ohio. I'm on Liquid Space. I'm at liquidspace.com. I'm going to do Ohio search. And if I'm looking for hourly or monthly, so let's just say I really want it to be liquid. I'm going to do hourly, and I'm looking for, just a desk for me anytime. I'm going to ask it to find space in my area. And it found for me 25 workspaces that has desks available for me to rent at any time in Ohio, in various places in Ohio. Hopefully you guys can see this good. So as you can see, it's showing me this workspace here in Columbus, Ohio, and it's got one open desk. So I can literally rent this desk for $25 an hour if I want. It's got a $25 co-working pass for just a desk space. This is giving you an idea, right? For 1 hour, a desk space. So this doesn't necessarily change what we're talking about from a business address. So if you were looking for a business address, you would probably want to go with monthly, because that's going to be that solidified address. And you're going to want to go through these, see what types of packages and memberships they offer. And like for this, for instance, this is $109 a month. It has one open desk. So there's 3 desks available. So this is Office Evolution. I'm going to click into it. And this is telling me, this looks more month-to-month agreements. This list, if you can see, it tells me down here what kind of comes with it. So this is not looking like it includes an address, a mailing address. So I don't want to go with this space. You see where I'm going with this? So you want to go through them, because if you choose one and you're actually paying for one, you want to choose one that actually has a mailing address option, that includes a mailing address. right? You want to include the mailing address in there. So that gives you an idea. Liquid space will give you the opportunity to find a space in your area. Another thing that I have looked at before to find different types of services that are similar to Regis, because that's really what we are looking for, guys. We're looking for spaces that are similar to Regis, right? That is where we're going with this. You want a Regis type place. All right. So Regis type places, go to Google, competitors of Regis. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for virtual offices, not virtual addresses. iPostal is a virtual address. You want virtual office. That's the key word. And that is the best kind. Start your business with a virtual office because they have physical locations. It's going to work across the board. It's going to work with the IRS. It's going to work with you registering your business. It's going to work with your business bank account, and it's going to work with your business credit. It's going to take care of knocking out all of those birds. I don't want to kill a bird because I like birds. So it's knocking out all the birds with one stone. All right. So let me get into some of the questions because maybe I answered them already. Maybe I answered them. I see you've got some in there. I'm going to take a look at what you guys are asking in here. Let me go back a little bit. I see a lot of comments. All right, let's see. Oh, Simon, thank you. I'm so glad. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad we're streaming good. Thank you. Okay. Virtual business office space. Yes, Kendra, I would definitely go with that. If there's a Regis in your area or even close to you. I mean, if you're just planning on, if you don't ever think you're going to actually physically go into the office to use it, and there's even one in your state, it's okay to still go with a Regis because it's going to accomplish the goal. It's better than an iPostal. Think about that. An iPostal, they're not near you, no way. I mean, you're really just using them for the mail address, but you're not getting the physical location that's going to be safe for you to use everywhere. So if there's a Regis even one state over, but you don't ever think you're going to use the physical space. Now, I like to do work in an office. I like to switch it up like that. I know that Regis is an option that I will use because I do physically like to go into an office. Plus, I need the CPTV studios, y'all, because, you know, I'm planning on being here for y'all for years to come. So I do still need a physical office space, but that, you know, is definitely an option. All right. Do a sole proprietor need a registered agent? Okay, so Kendra, your question is a good one. If you're a sole proprietor, you don't need to register your business at all. You don't have to register with your state at all. You're a sole proprietor. You're really functioning as an independent contractor, unless you want to actually give yourself the opportunity to limit some of your liability. And because if you're a sole proprietor and you're functioning like a sole proprietor as an independent contractor or a freelancer, then you're going to, you know, be functioning and you're going to be responsible for just kind of paying your taxes on your own. You don't have to have a business name per se. You can even register like a DBA if you want to, just so that people know you're kind of doing business as something else. You don't have to get into the registered agent or the registering of your business until you're actually registering a business entity, an LLC, a corporation, you know, a not-for-profit entity, something like that. And that's where the registered agent comes into play. So hopefully I clear that up for you. Because if you're now if you're a single member LLC, and I'm not going to even get into that because that might complicate things. From the IRS, if you're a single member LLC, they still treat you like a sole proprietor because of the way that your taxes are filed. That doesn't even matter. An LLC, you can still be a sole proprietor or a single member LLC in most states. You can still do that. It just limits your liability. So you don't get personally attacked or personally liable for business crap. Okay. But you don't have to get a registered agent if you don't ever plan on registering a business. Promise. Okay, yes. You were rejected by the bank. Yes. Nice. You got a business credit card. You got done. Nice. All right, let's see. What is the price for Regis? Okay, Kendra. So it just depends. When you log in, when you go to Regis, it varies. It depends upon your location and what package you choose. So when you go to regis.com and you put in your location, it'll give you the options. And it literally gives you the price right then and there, and you can sign up directly online. And like, even in like my area, there are like 5 different Regis locations. There's one like 20 minutes on the west side. There's one like 10 minutes from me. There's one like 25 minutes on the east side, and they all were different price, but they're all really beautiful buildings. Like, one building was the most expensive, but in that building, they had a gym, they had a cafe, they had all kinds of amenities. So it tended to be more expensive. Yes. So promise. Absolutely. 35 minutes out is not bad at all. If you only want to go in every once in a while, if you want to have a very important business meeting and you want to look like you the bomb, yes, because then you can just go and use the conference room. If you get that package, you can just use the conference room there. And when they come up, you'll have a receptionist. They'll be like, oh, you're here for Miss Promise or Mr. Promise. Yes. You'll have a receptionist that can answer your phone for you. It's awesome. Jared, I signed up and have my business card's website at an iPostal address. I've not registered my LLC yet. Would it be smart to go ahead and change over to an actual virtual office? Yes. Yes. Switch it over. Just switch it over now before you register, because you're going to find that you're in this space where they'll all kind of accept it, except when you start getting to your business bank account. Then you're going to start having to use different addresses for different things. And then if you ever want to get business credit, you're going to have different addresses. It's going to kind of be a cluster for you. Opus virtual office. Yes, Opus is also an option. Opus is also an option. Actually, someone from my team just looked up Quick Sprout too. Put that link in there for them. That would be great. Opus, Quick Sprout, he just did a quick search. Rico just did a quick search for you guys. He's getting ready to put a link in. It's actually a site that lists the top 10 competitors of Regis, top 10, top 8 or so. So he's going to top 8 competitors of Regis. He's going to put that link in that you can check. And it's the best virtual office competitors of Regis, just in case there's no Regis in your area. Yep, Opus is also, it is. We've got Opus and Regis, I think, in this area. I'm sure there's a Regis in Charlotte for sure, because Charlotte's big. I'm sure you guys probably have multiple ones. Question, the EIN PIN, could it work on multiple businesses or just one? No, you got to have an EIN separate for each business. Different EINs. Think of it like a social security number. Your EIN is your social security number for your business, right? So you want to have a separate social security number for every business. So different EINs for different businesses. Every time you open up a business, get a different EIN. I have like a drawer in my office, literally right here. And on the side of my drawer, I've got all my businesses' EINs like taped, so I know what they are, so I can see them. Yes. Yes, I do. Brandy, I do. Opus works similarly to Regis. I've not looked into them specifically. I've not toured them. But guys, when you look at Regis or at Opus, when you are looking into them, if they're close, they will ask you if you want to come in and look. You can take a tour. And that's the same thing that you do when you're looking for physical office space. I always recommend, do not decide on an office space just like you would an apartment, right? Go take a tour. Go take a tour. Can I use Regis for my virtual office address and use Unitel for my business phone and your email? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Yep. Yes, you can. Hakeem, yes, you can. Yes. All right. I'm going to look at some of the other questions I've got too. These questions have come from previous YouTube videos or from my other social. I should have streamlined to IG too. Sorry, guys. And if you aren't following me on IG or the other social, check me out. IG, Cheryl C. Perez. We're on Facebook at CCP Impact. And then we're on LinkedIn at Cheryl C. Perez, TikTok at Cheryl C. Perez. So make sure that you go out there and follow us there. I put content there as well. Hopefully I'm getting a new social media manager. I think I mentioned that to you guys. So I'm going to be beefing it up there and putting different content there. And if you aren't a CP Insider, please make sure you check it out, CherylCPerez.com. If you go there, you can sign up for our email newsletter. And if you guys want to continue the conversation with me, keep talking, talk about different aspects of your business. I know some of you have already signed up. I still have a few slots available for my one-time, one-on-one coaching sessions. Some of you guys already have your coaching growth plans and your action plans. I know you're working on them. Keep going. And your follow-up calls, I know we've got going. But if you want to do that, I did include a link somewhere in the comments. Click that link, get some more information. We can keep talking one-on-one. I only opened up my calendar for 50 slots, and I'm not sure exactly how many we have left. It was down to just a handful at the beginning of this week. So if you want one of those, click that link, and I will be able to continue the conversation with you and talk with you beyond just your addresses, but everything with regards to your business. We will create a game plan for what your steps need to be moving forward, and how you can kind of get your business to that next level, what pieces and parts you might be missing, and how we can get your business going. So click that link and it'll take care of that for you. And I want to make sure we've got about 10 minutes left. So I want to make sure I get some of these in there just in case I didn't already answer it. And you guys may have the same questions. So this is a question that I've gotten, and you guys might be wondering, is the business registration and agent address the same? Which one needs the virtual address and which one needs your home address? I kind of already answered it. Business registration and agent addresses are not the same. They can be, but they don't have to be. The agent address is the forward-facing address. It's the one that the public will see. Your agent is the person who you have designated to receive your documents on behalf of the business, right? That's the one that the public will see if they go out to the state website and they search your business. That is the address that the public will see. That one has to be a physical address. I don't think it should be your home. I don't think it should be your home, Gigi. That's who asked. I don't think it should be your home. All right. It should be something else, and it has to be a physical address, but don't make it your home. And the business registration can be your virtual office. Remember, I'm not about to renege on what I said. I explained to you what a virtual address was, but I'm going to go back. I'm going to stop talking about the virtual address because I don't think it's the best option for you guys. And I'm going to keep it with you real 100. I'm not about to keep giving you all these options. I explained what they were, but again, I don't think it's a good idea. So we're going to stick with the virtual office, right? Go with the virtual office. Let go of the virtual address. I don't care how cheap iPostal is. You get what you pay for. Okay. It's like eating cheap pizza. Don't eat cheap pizza. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that. Pay for your pizza. Pay for real pizza with real toppings, y'all. All right. I got the question. Can you get a tax write-off? Don't laugh at me. I like pizza, y'all. I like pizza. Anyway, can you get a tax write-off on your vehicle, even with a virtual address? One doesn't have anything to do with the other. Your address has nothing to do with your write-off. So the whole vehicle tax write-off is a whole separate video. Sonia, if you're here, whole separate video. Your vehicle being written off is so complicated. And I'm not a CPA. Is so complicated. You know, if you're buying it, there's depreciation that's involved there. If you're leasing it, how much of it is for personal and business use, your mileage, it gets real weird. But the bottom line is address has nothing to do with how much of your car you can write off. Okay. Okay. Ty, you asked me, it was long. I love you too. I love you too. Do you have any recommendations for a virtual address that also builds credit? And you talk about iPostal. We just went over that. I said Regis or anything like Regis. A virtual, if you want to be virtual, a virtual office address, right? A virtual office. iPostal is a big fat no. Anytime mailbox, Earth class mailbox, I'm going to say no, because I believe they're virtual addresses. They're not virtual offices, right? So no, I just don't want to register things and have to change anything again. I agree. Do with my DBA and EIN, absolutely. And don't use your home because you said you already set it up with your home. You want to change. Yes, change it. Okay. No iPostal, no anytime mailbox, no Earth class mailbox. I have nothing against them. If anybody sees this video and y'all work for them, mwah, love you. But I can't lie to my peeps. Okay. Perfect. Now, again, business credit is what I'm talking about here. If you want to do the virtual address, you can, if you never really want to do the business credit thing. Actually, the business bank account thing matters too, but you know, for the business bank account, you really could use your home address because nobody's going to see that. But that just complicates things, right? Because that really matters, the consistency with the business credit. All right. Carlos, I love you too. I love you too. If you have rental property, can I use that address for the LLC? What might be the pros and cons of doing that? I would totally recommend, Carlos, against using your rental property for your LLC. Because if you do rent that out and someone else is living there, they're going to get all your business mail. Really, that's why I'm saying that. Now, if you're renting it out and no one's living there and you want to run your business out of that and you're using that as an office, I would check with the locality to see if it can be used as a business, and absolutely 100% make that your office. Because if the locality allows for businesses to be run in the residential area, that's an awesome idea. Make that your office. You already own it. And there's lots of beautiful office spaces that used to be homes. But if you plan on putting people in there, do not make that your address, because they're going to get all your mail. Be all in your business. Okay. Okay, Kiana, I love you too. You're wondering what I think of iPostal? No, if you want business credit. If you don't want business credit, they have some great cheap options. Lady MG, you're welcome. You're welcome. I appreciate you too. You use your home address to start. Would you be able to change it to another address later to date once you build your business? Absolutely. You use your home address to start. You can always change it. And I did that. I did that in a business before. And within that first year, I did change it, because I just needed to do something to register my business before I started like bringing in money. And it provided me with the physical address that I needed, and it was consistent across the board. But within that first year, I did change it, and I did have a separate registered agent. I always had a separate registered agent. A friend of mine was an attorney. They agreed to do it for me, you know, in the short term, because I just didn't want my forward-facing one to be my home, but it did work for me in the short term. So yes, you can do that. Lamont, I don't know. I think I saw you might be here. Lamont may have been here. Lamont may have been here. I think I saw you at some point. But here's your question, Lamont. It was very helpful. You have a question. You're very interested in a virtual office, but you live in a smaller town and don't have the option locally. What would you suggest? The next biggest city is about 2 to 3 hours away. We kind of just talked about that, right, guys? Lamont, if you are not planning on actually going into that office physically, I would still say go with the virtual office option that's still 2 to 3 hours away, because you're still going to get that physical location. You're still going to get that virtual address, you know, service, but you're still going to get that physical location that you'll be able to use in the long term, you know, kind of across the board. Miss Diva Boo, you would like to change your registered agent address. I don't want my home address to be public. Can I have the Division of Corporations mailing address be the suite I'm renting, and the Division of Taxation, IRS, and EIN be my home address? Thank you in advance. Yes, you can. You can absolutely have different addresses in different places. You absolutely can. That would work out great. I would only suggest, Ms. Diva, think about the fact that if you do want to kind of begin that business credit journey, that's going to make it difficult for you to get some, because they're going to be looking for that consistency, right? They're going to be looking for that consistency across the board. So if you are renting an office suite right now, just use that for everything. And then if you have to change it, just change it across the board. That is the biggest pain in the butt with the physical office stuff, y'all. The biggest pain is changing the address everywhere. I mean, I had to do it, I think, twice in my entire career. I've had to change office locations. An office move is horrific, but it has to happen. All right. I think that's all the questions in advance. Let me see if I got some other ones in here before we wrap up, guys. Mertlin, yes, Rico answered. The replay will be on YouTube in the content, in the videos. It will stay here. And Mertlin, are you in Startup Academy? If you're in the Startup Academy, I will also make sure that these most recent lives are in the Startup Academy for you as well to access. Would you like that? Let me know. Also, Simon, you are welcome. You are welcome. You're welcome. Mwah. Hakeem, thank you. Thank you so much. I will keep going and promise. What do you think of Novo Banking? I bank locally, but recently opened Novo Banking. I have actually heard of Novo Banking. I haven't done research on them yet to see what they are all about. Okay, perfect. I will. We will, Mertlin. We will put that in there. I haven't seen what they are all about yet. What types of services they provide, how easy they are to access would be a big deal for me. Their costs, if they have any kind of banking costs and stuff. But like I said, I think I mentioned it maybe last week on last week's live. One of the biggest things that is a big deal for me and that I do recommend as an entrepreneur when you are doing your business banking and you're making that choice is you will, from time to time, in various scenarios and situations, you will love the fact that you can have a relationship with a business banker, way more than having a personal relationship with a banker. When you have a personal bank account, whether you have a relationship with a specific banker or not, unless you are a million gazillionaire, doesn't matter. But when you are an entrepreneur and you are a business person, having a relationship with a business banker becomes critical in your journey, especially when your business crosses over into multiple six figures, high six figures, and seven figures. A business banker becomes a critical relationship for you. I cannot tell you how amazing my relationship with my business banker has been, especially during times when I didn't have time. I could just text him, tell him I needed to open up a payroll account. I needed merchant services. I needed a certified check sent. I needed to wire something. PPP was absolutely critical. I didn't have to do any of that stuff. It was almost like I had an extra employee, right? It's almost like I have an extension of my finance team in my banker. And that is an important feature when you are choosing a business bank account. And the ability to transfer money seamlessly and easily through, from account to account, your payroll account to your business account, especially, and I have to get into different accounts when you have, when we start talking about having people ask me, why do you have a separate payroll account from your business account? Because eventually you'll have an employee doing your payroll and you don't want that employee to have access to all your business money. That's a whole nother topic, y'all. The embezzlement, stuff like that happens like that, okay? If they don't steal something, they only can steal it from a little bit. Just saying. Anyway, so a business banker is a very important relationship. So think about that when you're choosing your business bank as well. And you can always switch banks. So if you've already made a decision, it's not the end of the world. As you get bigger, establishing a relationship with a business banker, it will just be like so critical. And it's like you have an extension of your finance team, but you ain't got to pay them. Think about that. Think about that. So yes, Kendra, I agree. I suggest you go where you do your personal banking. Correct. I agree. Jay, awesome. I love you guys too. I love you. What CRM do you recommend for consulting? Ooh, Jay, that's a good one. As a fellow consultant, honestly, my favorite CRM for consultants, it kind of runs, I run my entire consulting business. I've tried a million of them. And for the past few years, my favorite is Dubsado right now. I can put a link. Rico, will you grab that link, our link for him? Rico's going to grab the link for you, Jay. You can click it. I think you get some kind of discount with it, doesn't it? It is an affiliate link, just so you know. That won't change the price. It might give you, I think it's a discount. You might get 10% or something like that off, or, a free trial or something like that. I love it. I love it. And it has, my entire consulting practice is on complete automation. Proposals, contracts, invoices, workflows, everything is completely automated. Whole different topic, Jay. You want to talk more about that? Click that link up there. Okay, I had a one-on-one session with a consultant a couple of days ago. We completely mapped out her entire sales and service process in Dubsado and Honeybook, because she uses Honeybook. That's also a really good one. We mapped out her entire sales and service, her entire sales and onboarding workflows as a consultant in her systems the other day on our 1 hour coaching session. It was amazing. So check that out. But yes. Oh, Mertlin, awesome. Awesome. I thought you were. I thought I recognized your name. We will definitely get this video in the Academy as well so that you can watch it from there. You don't got to go searching for it. If you guys want more information on the Startup Academy, definitely go to CherylCperez.com. There should be information there to check out the Startup Academy. It is a monthly membership. It's like $49 a month. You have access to my deep content on everything starting your business. Mertlin is a student in there, and it's an amazing, it's all my deep content, very different than YouTube, walkthroughs, how-tos, getting all this stuff set up. I love you guys so much. We ran a little bit over. I'm sorry, but you guys have some great questions, and we are still doing it live. I told you all month. Next week, our topic that we are going to be talking about, and I think I got some great suggestions from you guys, but next week, guys, we are going to be talking about all things. Let me see. What are we talking about? I want to keep it real. Oh, all things startup. All things, the 6 steps to starting your business. So we're going to be talking about mindset. We're going to be talking about making it official, the official steps, registering your business, all your questions about LLC, banking. We're going to be talking about marketing. We're going to be talking about processes and launching. So make sure that you tune in next week for another live coaching session focused on the steps to starting your business, my 6 steps, the roadmap. There's a whole nother video on it, and there is actually a roadmap that goes along with it. So if you are around, it'll be the same day next Tuesday at 6 p.m. It will come out for you guys to check out at that point too. Hopefully you guys will be here. I'll let you guys know in advance. If you need anything in the meantime, please let me know. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Same place, same time. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye. Mwah!